What if a Yutyrannus appeared in modern Canada? Could it reclaim its place as the apex predator? Far in northern Canada, a newborn Yutyrannus quietly enters the world. You have just hatched, when an icy blast engulfs your tiny body. It's late spring in Canada, but winter still refuses to let go. In conditions like these, you would freeze to death if left on your own. But you're not alone. Your mother is there to protect you. She measures nearly 9 meters long and weighs well over a ton. She is the undisputed apex predator of this land. Under her protection, you survive the most vulnerable stage of your life. For now, you weigh only 40 kilograms, your feathers still soaked, instinctively crawling toward any source of warmth. During your first few days, your mother shields you from the freezing wind. Fortunately, it won't last forever. Canada's brief summer is finally returning. This is the season when every creature here becomes incredibly active. The great caribou herds return as well. Hundreds of thousands of them migrate north together. Your mother watches them carefully, long before you were born. She had already studied their behavior. She discovered that every migration follows the same crossing point. It's a narrow bottleneck through a canyon. The crowded herds are forced together here, creating the perfect hunting opportunity. You follow your mother to the crossing, but you're still far too small to help in any way. The panicked caribou could easily trample you to death, so whenever your mother begins the hunt, you can only hide behind rocks or thick bushes. Then the ground starts to shake. Roars echo through the valley. After frantic cries and thunderous hoofbeats, silence finally returns. Then the earth begins to tremble again. With steady, familiar footsteps, you know, your mother has come back. Every time she returned, she carried fresh meat in her jaws. She would drop it right in front of you. You always ate first, and only after you were full would she eat the leftovers. Day after day, life went on like this, until one day, a wolf pack found you. Not just a few, but a large, battle-hardened pack. Strong and experienced hunters. For generations, they had ruled these lands. As the dominant predators, they could bring down caribou and even steal kills from brown bears. In their minds, nothing in this wilderness could threaten them. But then, your mother stepped forward. She charged straight into the pack. She didn't need to attack. With her massive 9-meter-long body, she unleashed a single deafening roar. The entire wolf pack scattered in terror. They never dared to return again. A few weeks later, a brown bear made the same mistake. It was a massive bear, weighing over 400 kilograms. It had been following your mother, feeding on her leftovers. For millions of years, scavenging had been written into its instincts. But sometimes, it would even steal food directly from other predators. This time, however, it was far too confident. It approached while your mother was feeding, immediately drawing her attention, but the bear refused to back down. The battle that followed lasted only a few seconds. In the end, the brown bear limped away, covered in wounds. Blood poured from a deep gash on its shoulder. That was the last time any animal dared to challenge her for a meal. Your mother had become the ultimate apex predator of the continent. Every creature in this land was completely unprepared for this new predator. For the next 60 days, she would reign supreme over the entire region. By September, the temperature began to plummet. There was hardly any autumn here. Summer gave way directly to winter. Just a week ago, temperatures reached 5 or 6 C. But now, the land was locked in freezing temperatures below 10 C. The great caribou herds began their southern migration. Hunting suddenly became much more difficult. Prey had once been easy to catch, was now deserted. Even lone stragglers became nearly impossible to find. By October, the entire valley had fallen silent. The great herds were long gone. Small animals had either burrowed underground or migrated south. The remaining prey was scattered, making every hunt a challenge. By November, temperatures had plunged to 40 C. Freezing winds roared, driving the wind chill even lower. Exposed skin would go numb within minutes. Your mother had no choice but to slow down. The remaining prey could no longer repay the energy required to hunt it. She ventured out less often to conserve precious body heat. Whenever the blizzards reached their peak, she wrapped her feathered body tightly around you, but her breathing grew heavier, and every movement became slower. You didn't understand what it meant, You were only 4 months old, and to you, she was still invincible. To your young mind, this was simply how the world worked. So you nestled into her feathers, finding comfort in her warmth against the freezing wind. Then December arrived. Her warmth slowly faded, until one cold morning, she never got up again. You stayed close beside her, calling out with soft, desperate cries. But this time, nothing happened. She never looked back at you, and her feathers no longer rose with each breath. Her warmth was gone forever. You remained beside her for a while, because you didn't know what else to do. As the hours passed, the cold slowly drained your body heat. Then an instinct older than thought itself whispered, "If you stay, you will die." So you walked away. At this point, you weighed only 50 kilograms, and had never made your first kill. If you don't want to share your mother's fate, you must learn to kill more efficiently. Fortunately, luck is still on your side. Using your keen sense of smell, you managed to track down a lemming. Since the day you hatched, it's the first prey you've ever caught on your own. It's barely a mouthful, but it's enough to keep you alive a little longer. Your remarkable sense of smell soon leads you to hidden fox caches, abandoned fish, rabbits hiding in burrows, and even more lemmings. Even so, it's only enough to barely survive. The freezing wind continues to drain your body heat. Day after day, your life becomes an endless struggle for survival. Then one day, you discover a fox frozen to death. To you, it's an incredible feast, enough to sustain you for quite some time. By May, spring finally arrives. The days grow longer, the snow begins to melt, and the frozen ground starts to thaw. The hardest days are finally behind you. Food becomes far more abundant. You eventually find a young caribou separated from its herd. The river had swept it downstream during a crossing. As it struggles onto the riverbank, you clamp your jaws around its neck. In that moment, you realize something. Hunting along this river makes everything much easier. Over the next few months, your hunting skills improve dramatically. You learn that chasing healthy adult caribou is a waste of energy. Young calves are far easier to bring down. The weak and isolated are always the easiest targets. When winter returns once again, you've mastered their migration patterns. They move north as the weather warms, and head south by late summer. But one species never leaves. Through the snowstorm, you discover a herd of musk oxen. They're simply too massive, and you're still no match for them. This winter, you still have to survive on small animals, but you're no longer the clumsy youngster you once were. You know exactly where to find food. 2 years pass, and your weight has reached 400 kilograms. Now, the small animals of winter are no longer enough to sustain you. It's time to hunt musk oxen. You head toward the place where you last saw the herd. You stop nearby, and within moments, they notice you. Immediately, they form a defensive circle. It's their instinctive survival strategy, but you don't rush the attack. 2 years of experience have taught you that getting injured for a single meal isn't worth the risk. Instead, you patiently circle the herd. For the first hour, they hold their formation, never letting their guard down. An hour later, fatigue begins to set in. Another hour passes, and you spot an opening. You explode forward, clamping your jaws around a calf in the center. The rest of the herd immediately scatters in panic. Warm blood runs across your teeth, and confidence surges through you. You've finally overcome the greatest challenge of surviving this frozen wilderness, the fate that claimed your mother will never be yours. By your 5th year, you've grown to 9 meters long, weighing an incredible 1,400 kilograms. Your feathered body is packed with powerful muscles and deadly jaws. You've reached the same size your mother once did, but unlike her, you've mastered the secret to surviving this land. You have become the true ruler of the North. Wolf packs flee the moment they catch your scent. Even grizzly bears abandon their meals when they see you. Only ravens remain faithfully at your side. Whenever you finish feeding and walk away, they rush in first. Soon afterward, Arctic foxes and wolves follow the scent, arriving to feast on the remains of your kill. You become the center of an entirely new food web. Scavengers, decomposers, and countless microorganisms now depend on you. Your arrival has permanently reshaped this ecosystem. Hunting is now almost effortless, yet there is little left to do but wait. Then one day, old memories begin to surface once again. You return to the place where she fell, but only scattered bones remain. Her flesh had been stripped away years ago by scavengers and decay. Now, those same scavengers follow behind you. You've overcome every challenge, survived every deadly threat, yet in the end, you still stand alone. There will never be another Yutyrannus here. One day, your own kind will vanish from this land as well. But for now, you are still alive.
You say you need your space, then pull me close. I read your silence, louder than most. One day you're warm, the next day you're cold.